Folks, the Democrats don't respect us, and the Republicans hate us. I would say that the Democrats hate us, but they don't hate us because without us, they would never get elected. They don't respect us. Because if they respected us, 40% or 50% of Biden's cabinet would be black, and they wouldn't be the kind of black that he's used to getting either. It'd be black people like Yvette Carnell, Antonio Moore, Jakari, Arthur, my sister Tamara Shealy. Yeah, come on now, it'd be people like that. Come on now. You know, it'd be people riding for reparations, you know. We find a slot for anybody ADOS. There would be a respect level, and respect is by deed. Respect is not shown by words. The reason why I say the Democratic Party don't respect us, it's not just the fact that look at Biden's cabinet. Let's look at the policies. Policies are what you get done for people. In the world of politics, it's the equivalent of washing the dishes. It's washing the dishes, Johnson. Now, we know it's a lot more than that, but what I'm saying is an actual thing you do. It's not something you say, something you hope, something you conjure up, some whimsical bullshit that you hang your hat on in order to persuade people, in order to trick them. No. What I'm trying to tell you is the Democratic Party don't respect us, because if they respected us, they would actively do things that prove that respect. I respect Mrs. Black. Now, I know I respect her, but what's more important is she knows I respect her. You know how she knows? Because I cook her dinner. Right? I'm proud to say I cook her dinner. I'm a pretty good cook, too. Sometimes I cook her such great meals that she'd be like, ooh, this is good. Take a picture, baby, take a picture. Take a picture. Now, don't get me wrong, not all of them are that great, but I do that on a regular basis. I show my appreciation by doing. The Democratic Party doesn't do. Democratic Party walks around while you in the kitchen cooking, ladies, smacks you on the butt and says, when's it done? Speed it up. Come on now. That ain't no respect, that's disrespect. The Democratic Party walks up, you been raising kids, putting kids to bed, getting them out to school, working hard, working 2 jobs, paying the bills. Democratic Party gets up off the couch, wanders over and says, where's my beer, B? That ain't respect. Democratic Party takes you to work, you work 2 jobs, takes you to work. Democratic Party drops you off at your work, comes back, plays Xbox all day, smokes weed, picks up other women in your car. That's the Democratic Party. Democratic Party does not respect us. No, it doesn't respect us. So we have a problem with that. Now, just to show you, brothers, that I'm not piling on the brothers here. Democratic Party now, brothers, now, I could go the other way. It's going to cut deep. It's going to hurt. But I want my brothers to know what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Democratic Party, brothers. If you got some brothers that vote Democratic, a lot of brothers vote Democrat. We hear all this talk. Still, 85% of black men vote for Democrats. That's if they can vote. Democratic Party sees you putting in that work. The Democratic Party don't rub your back, don't cook your dinner. Don't say, hey, thank you, baby, for doing all that you do. Democratic Party, you come home from a long day's work, you work 2 jobs, you come in, she on the phone talking to her girlfriends, laughing, smoking cigarettes, and drinking wine. And talking about your mama. I never did like his mama. Here he is now, girl. That's not respect, Johnson. That's not respect. Democratic Party, brothers, when you go to work, Democratic Party, when you go to work, brothers, the Democratic Party, let's the mailman come through. See, I don't even want to finish these things. Has some brothers going psycho. Thinking all types of thoughts. Democratic Party, there's people in your house to help with the pipes. clean the rugs. Get the disposal working. Huh? That's not respect. So what I'm trying to say is that the Democratic Party does not respect black people. The Democratic Party does not respect black voters. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying it doesn't want them. Oh, no. They want them. It's just that they have no respect for us. If they had respect for us, they would do things to show that respect. What we have right now is we have an influx of status quo keeping, handkerchief head Negroes who are comfortable in our demise, comfortable in our suffering, because it's not them suffering. It is not them suffering, Johnson. They're not the ones who are bearing the brunt. These gatekeepers, these gatekeepers, these black politicians, these certain members of the Congressional Black Caucus, if not the entire one, the Progressive Caucus or whatever caucus, caucus, I don't know. But I know that there's a certain amount of buffer class Negroes whose jobs, it seems to be, is to make sure they shut us up. Meanwhile, they pick up their bag and they go home and they are happy. But we're the ones that are suffering. We're the ones who are dealing with the disparities and the tax of being black in America, in a country that's very much capitalistic. It's very difficult to be poor in a capitalistic country like America without social safety nets that really help. And Lord, if you get caught with a little bit of weed, you throw all the safety nets away. All the safety nets go bye-bye. So, if we intend to get respected, if we want to have respect, what do we do, folks? What do we do to get respect? How do we make the Democratic Party respect us? That means treat us. I don't care about words. Anybody can tell you nice things. Anybody can say your hair looks good today, or your bald head is shiny today, which is really not a compliment, but you know. Say the shoulders. Not the head. Try to forget. It's like you don't notice I'm bald. But it's about actions, folks. It's about actions, Johnson. It's not about the words. So that's why when they come around every election cycle, talking about how much they love us and they respect us and they care about us, and if it wasn't for the black vote, what did Joe Biden say? I want you to know, black people, I know if it wasn't for you, this would not be a win today. I owe you, black people. And then he turned around and did nothing. Well, that is a clear value, a clear sign of a lack of value. That's a clear example of he does not value you or he does not respect you because there's no reciprocity in that, right? That's just words. But when it's time to do, there's no doing. There's no actual solution or evolution of action, no completement, no execution. That's the word. There's no execution there for black people that can be put in the pocket. So when you hear black people talk about these things, you hear comments like, tangibles. I think Tariq Nasheed and his people say tangibles, FBA, B1, okay? Like, so we have different ways of expressing ourselves, right? But at the end, at the root of it, it's rooted in some real ish. We may disagree in our way, our tacticals, we may disagree with communication styles, and we may be, unfortunately, pitted against each other sometimes in competition, and unfortunately that's part of being black and American, lack of resources, and talking to a base that is under-financed or under-capitalized to a certain degree, or particularly when you compare that to white Americans. But, so, it's just, it's not just we're evil to one another, it's towards one another, it's just that we are all looking for the support of the black community, and it's just so much that the black community can support because they are the black community. And if the black community was in the possibility or in the position that they could just give to all of the Umar Johnsons, Tariq Nasheeds, Yvette Carnells, Black Authority, Professor Truth, Tim Black, and name of many others, well, then we would not be the black community that needs people like Dr. Umar Brown, Professor Black Truth, Dr. Cornel West, and all these other people. Now, would we? We would not need those people because we would be doing well. The problem is they both exist at the same time. The need and the lack of need. The need for more resources and the need for more voices. So, what I'm saying is we all have different ways of projecting this, but we're all saying similar things because it's rooted in truth. It's rooted in truth. We argue over tactics, but at the end of the day, we want black people to be respected, not by words, not by musical renditions, not by giving us holidays that we already had that we've been celebrating for decades, Juneteenth, not by putting Miss Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. Screw you. She was sold as a human being. Now you're trying to sell her in the past, in the afterlife. Now you want to sell her likeness. Ooh, what a privilege. How about giving her descendants reparations? How about cutting a check for her descendants? How about that? There you go. How about calling it the Harriet Tubman reparations play? The Harriet Tubman compensation for black freedmen or for formerly enslaved or former Negroes, or however you would like to put that in there. However you feel better to do it, America. So, black folks, black voters are not receiving respect in the form of actions from the political party that without them there would be no political party called the Democratic Party that could be elected to the highest office in the land in the foreseeable future. And I still anticipate, even though the numbers of Latinos, Latinx people are growing, they're going to still vote split it, which is now, what, 60-40? 40% for Republicans. That dog don't hunt. That dog ain't going to get it done. So they need us. So the only way I see us actually getting the strength of being able to dictate what that policy would be for one, pressure, immense pressure placed on the Democratic Party in the form of people power. And Jacory and I, we talk about a number of issues. Now this is touched on and somewhat discussed in my interview with Jacory, not specifically about how we're going to get the money for reparations, but about the situation that black people find themselves in. It's some political action moves that can do something to better the lives of black people, because that's what we're looking for, ways to better lives. And frankly, it can be used by any group of people. Like any group of people for any cause, the Jacory author template can be used for anyone. In any cause, it's really a powerful thing. Now let's quickly go to the second part. Republicans hate us. The reason why I say Republicans hate us is because they do. They hate us. They have to hate us. How else could you be a party that's so diametrically opposed to any type of social remedies, knowing that those social remedies go to black Americans who, without the condition that has been beset upon them by America, would not need social remedies. Oh, folks, come on now. We would not need social remedies if it were not for America's disenfranchisement of black people. We would not be, but let's make something very clear, guys, because I have a lot of people that don't understand this. And I realize some of those people who don't understand are not white people. Some of the people that don't understand are people who are brown but from other countries who have no understanding at all. None. None. They come to America and their biggest gripe is they get treated like black people. Then when I call them out for certain shit, they go, but I'm black. Huh? So there are a lot of people that don't understand the situation for black Americans. And they think that our plight, our situation in this country, is because we chose something. When in fact, part of being colonized, part of being stripped of one's legacies, of one's wealth, of one's even freedom of action, freedom of movement, freedom of thought, future. It's a stripping of identity and a stripping of hopes and dreams and aspirations. And still we fought through. We fought through. We are resilient people. The fact that there are black people in America without black people, the ones that went before us, my friend, from wherever you come from, I want you to know something. Your ass may not be in that apartment building that you were in. A lot of black people lost a lot. We lost a lot of lives. We lost a lot of lives fighting for the rights that the rest of the world now uses to bolster their claims for anti-discrimination. The civil rights that you enjoy, you walk into America enjoying, was paid for by sweat and blood and tears of not only men, but women and children, black women and children, black women and children, white women and children, banding together to fight against the injustice. And then you show up and you have these thoughts. So I'm saying it's not just these people, it's also white people who don't understand it all. Let me understand this, let me explain this to you. When we talk about reparations, I'm talking about there are three pillars that hold up the board, I would say, for putting on top of it the plan for reparations. And three of those are, one leg of that, and it's a three-legged board, it's weird, but it's got three legs. It's cool the way it's positioned here. So we got slavery on one of these legs, and we all know what slavery is, right? This is the actual institution of taking someone and putting them in bondage. Working sun up to sundown as long as the master says you do not own yourself, let alone your family, your name, your children. Slavery. Very solid. You understand what it is. After that, the other leg is Jim Crow. Jim Crow was 100 years. 100 years of institutional focus on making sure black people stayed below, one step above a slave, and still slavery continued just by another name. We call that the 13th Amendment. We talk about that before. If you go to jail, you are slaved. You are enslaved. You work against your will for profit of what? The state. Slave. Same deal. And what they do is the moment we got free, they made laws, black codes, to do what? Put black people back in chains. How did they do that? Prison. So we had 100 years. We had, what, 200 years of slavery? 16, 19, 18, 19, 250 years of slavery. Cut it off. We had 100 years of Jim Crow, 1860s, 1960s, civil rights movement comes in. Then we have what we have now, which is ongoing racial inequality, racism, and institutional racism. Now, that's the part. That's the part now. People tend not to understand that part, that third leg, man. That's where they get tripped up. They don't get that. Well, actually, some people who are watching now on Facebook, for instance, they didn't get any of this. They thought we were just workers. We're just workers in the field, working on the farm, just working on the farm. And those whips weren't whips for us. Those were from the horses. And that was a musical instrument that the crackers used up on their horses. It's called a whip-a-peel. It's a new type of guitar they were playing when they were swinging. No, and hell, man, you just feed yourself. That's all that was. You're being an enterprising person. You got a job. Your job is to pick the cotton. And when they cut people's arms and legs off and mutilated them or whatever for not bringing in a proper amount of the foods, that was just, employee HR. You had to go to HR. That's all that was when you went in that shed. That's all that was when you put that hot box in the ground, or when they sick the hounds on you, or whatever they did. So there are some people that nothing I say here will penetrate. I'm not talking to those people. Those people, I don't have time for them motherfuckers. Go talk to somebody else. There are a lot of people that love to talk to you. Like Brianna Joy Gray, she wants to talk to you. And there's a lot of other people that want to, Lewis Reed, Adolph Reed, or whatever his name is, Adolph Reed wants to talk to you. They all want to talk to you and change your ways. They want to sit down and have a conversation of how black people are human beings, and maybe at some point they'll help you understand that. But there are some people that also have a problem with number two. They don't understand Jim Crow. I don't have time for you either. If you don't understand what forced segregation was, if you don't understand there was no separate but equal, I do understand that there are some people that say, when we were segregated, we were better off because we were more self-sufficient. I understand that. But realize they were still making sure we were never successful. Explain the Tulsa Race Massacre. You understand? So let's not get into this. Don't just look back at one act and say, well, you think we want to buy something, you brought black. Okay. Then you brought black, and when you brought it up, what'd they do? They bombed you to death and killed your children. Let's not leave that part out when we are romanticizing about the times in the 20s and the 10s and the 30s and the 40s when black people had to spend money with other black people. Yes, that's one side of it. But as soon as you were able to get the Cadillac, they took your Cadillac and raped your wife and threw your ass on the railroad tracks. This is not so good. So let's keep it a buck. Now, we're having a problem understanding or explaining to people exactly what's going on with the third leg, which is the leg of ongoing racial inequality, ongoing racism, and institutional racism. That's another part. People just don't get it. These are three pillars of what reparations is based on. The people that don't get it, 60% of white people deny racial discrimination even exists. 60% of white people think there is no more racial discrimination because, Obama got elected. Yeah, how could there be racial discrimination? Oprah has a network and Obama was president, and I saw a black person just yesterday walking down the street, and no one lynched him. At least not while I was looking. These are people that are afraid of these things called books. They're also allergic to this thing called data. 50% of white people feel that we're treated the same as white people, even during police encounters. Now, we all know that black people are more than 3 times likely to be shot by cops, even when we're unarmed. And that black people are often more unarmed than white people. And that black people smoke drugs and do drugs about the same amount as white people, but get searched 4 or 5 times as often. But still, those white people believe, for some reason, they believe that 50% of whites feel we're treated the same as white people in police interactions. These are the people that we encounter when we're talking about Kyle Rittenhouse. The numbers that you produce, the issues that we display, they say that's all bullshit. All of it is made up. It's a big conspiracy to make white people feel bad. Yeah, numbers are made to make white people feel bad. It's one of those conspiracy theories that no data ever collected that makes white people feel bad is true. First of all, you should not feel bad as a white person. You should feel bad as an American because we are American citizens. We created America against our will, and isn't it a beautiful thing? It was once great, and if that's the case, they say it was once great. Ain't that what your president said? America was great. Make America great again, implying it was once upon a time great. Well, if it was once upon a time great, who made it that way? Oh, I guess it was the free labor that helped make it that way. So, that's not it, man. See, my thing is also, this is not just a white issue. There are black people who don't get it. They don't get it. 38% of black people think that black people and white people are even when it comes to finances. I mean, they really don't get it. There are 38% of black people, these are the same people that comment, black people that big up Bezos, who shit on unions. I'm not saying there are unions that are corrupt, but Jesus Christ, if you're going to start from a place mark of defending the richest man in a known universe, I think Elon Musk is now, right? If you're going to come from the position of defending him as if your ass have any shot at all, come on, Wesley. That's not going to fucking happen. You need to put your head in the game and realize that this deck is stacked against us exponentially. Okay? These are the same people that believe for some reason that black people there's a problem with black people that we cannot succeed because we are pathological. They have read too many Tony Robbins books thinking that it applied to them. But see, Tony Robbins was never a black man. And even if he was a black man, Les Brown, he's but one black man. To do as well as Les Brown, for instance, I know who Les Brown is because he's a motivational speaker. I admire motivational speakers. I find them motivational and inspirational. I admire them. Good for them. Give me more of that. But the reality is, these are one-offs that you're talking about. And as successful as Les Brown is at selling a dream, There are white people 10 times as successful who didn't have to sell shit because they are whites. They did nothing great. They were just born with white skin in a family that were not held back systemically for 3, 4, 5, 6 generations. Think! So we got these black people that are just as confused as white people, and it's even more offensive, isn't it? When black people are making asinine comments devoid of any data, any facts whatsoever, who would instead of looking at America with the ability to see America for what it is and understanding what institutional racism is. We get less and are charged more. We have 2% of the wealth, 2% of the land. We have 2% of the doctors, 2% of the lawyers, 40% of the population, 50% of the homeless population. In Jakari's district, they are, 25%?
In Louisville, Kentucky, we are a quarter of the city's population, but we are over 3/4, and I think I tweeted this to you, of the unsheltered families. So if you go to one of these camps, you go to under an expressway somewhere in these alleyways, and there are people who are homeless outside and they got kids, well, 8 out of 10 times, they are going to be black like me.
These people still believe that it is a black problem. There are black people that think it's a black problem. You just don't think positive. You just hang out with black poor people. Why? Because that's who you choose to hang out with. Why? Because you know a lot of black poor people. Why? They black and poor because their parents didn't give them nothing. Why? Because the parents didn't know better. Why? We can just keep doing the why game. Always do the why game with these people. At the end, you're going to either get them to concede that racial discrimination, systemic racism, slavery, Jim Crow, and the other things that I outlined here in this tabletop of reparations, the reason for reparations, is a culprit and a motivating factor, an instigating factor, a mitigating factor in this situation that we found ourselves, or they're just going to bow out, tap out, and say some cornball bullshit like they just don't want it bad enough. Black youth get a bad rap all the time. I'm so tired of hearing people tell me about black young people. Oh, I'm so tired of hearing you. I'm tired of hearing you motherfuckers say bad things about black young people. Why don't you say some negative things about black white people? I'm sorry, black white people. Why don't you say some things about white people? Yeah, here goes something important to know. Black youth, on average, have more school than white youth, including degrees. That's right. Black youth have more years of schooling, including degrees, than white youth, on average. That's probably because a lot of white kids inherit shit. And I guess if you got money and that's the reason why you would go to school, who really needs school, Johnson? Black households, black women, we talk about black women. Everybody, oh, black women, black women, black women, black women. They talk about black women and how great they're doing. They're doing great when it comes to putting money into our system. But are they benefiting from that toil? Are they benefiting from all that debt that they put in or that they get out of the system? No, not the way white women do. Listen, black women over 60, which is when the culmination of all that hard work should come back to you and you are able to take it easy and get off your feet and relax. You gotta relax. Black women over 60, single black women over 60 with a bachelor's degree, median net worth is $11,000. White woman's net worth, $384,000. Now I know in some world, in some mind's eye of such of some people, they're gonna try to make sense of that and make it be something other than the gross effects of Jim Crow laws, slavery, and institutional racism. They're gonna try to make it be something else. But how the fuck did you come up with the difference of $370,000 difference? How do you account for that? So either you're saying black people are, I don't even know a word for it. There's no word to define this. What you'd have to wrap your head, what pretzel-like contortion you would have to hold. You would have to break every bone in your body to pretzel, to contort it, to fit into this worldview that makes that acceptable. That a black woman with a dichotomy, remember, a single woman, not a single mom, a single black woman with a degree at 60, $11,000. White woman, same choices, not married, no kids, went to school. Damn near $400,000. Make it make sense, Johnson. Because you fuckers like to say, oh, she had kids, she slept around, and she made better choices. Let me go talk to Kevin Samuels with his tight slacks and his horrible disposition. Mr. Charismatic, let me go talk to him. Let me go talk to Pookie with glasses. He wear glasses, he must be smart. Right? Looking like Huggy Lowdown went to Lens Crafters. All right, so, and look, it's not just, okay, so let's step back. Because I think my point is solid. Single moms, let's go single moms now. Case in point, single moms, black single moms, white single moms. There are white single moms. White single moms, raise your hand. If I got any white single moms, be proud of that shit. Stand up for what you are. Now check this out. White single moms, on average, median net worth, $3,000. $3,000. Not so good. Not so good, Johnson. That's average, though. Some doing a lot better, some doing worse. Net worth for black single moms, wait for it, $0. $0. 0 cents. Nothing. Air. So people say education is a big separator. Education is important. Hell, there are a lot of educated people out here. And look, when I hear certain people, you be able to put their degrees to use and do amazing things with them, I go, wow, I wish I could have had the opportunity to get more schooling. I didn't finish a degree. I got some credits. Couldn't afford that. Couldn't handle the debt. Was living on my own at 16, almost 17. Lucky to avoid jail and avoid, going into service. Joining the Army, which is what I was going to do. But I met Mrs. Black and I didn't look back. So black households with college degrees, remember, black households with college degrees, they did the right thing. They did the thing we say that's the separator, that's the whole thing. And if black people just went to school, put their head down, went to school, and left alone the weed. Left the weed alone. Even though white kids do weed, just as much as black kids. But see, they got to find a place to blame it. Black household, college degree, $10,000. Less, $10,000 less than a white household who the hit a household never even completed college. Hell no, never completed high school. I'm telling you, a black hitter household with a college degree is worth $10,000 less than a white household hitter household where the white guy or woman never finished high school. And you want to tell me what again? You want to tell me somebody doesn't want it? Now we got a guy who didn't even go to school. To high school. Somehow you want me to believe that he works so much harder than the black guy who finished college. Our American education system is shit. It's shit on purpose. Do not blame the people for what they do not know. Go out and educate them. Lord, please. That's what I need to do because I got to always remember Remember, guys, this ain't just black people that don't get this, or just ain't white people, or just ain't Latino people. It's just not people that live in other countries. A lot, like all of us, like there are people from every walk of life that don't know this information. I don't think it's just one thing. I think we have to institute using our political power, our political will, in order to push for legislation by pushing Congress people, pushing our local representatives as well to get things done for us in our districts. That's part of it. The other part of it, as we also organize, we need to work towards funding ourselves. It's got to be a way to do it. I think we have a model here that's begun, and I'm learning as I go. I'm learning as I go how to fund this enterprise. I consider doing many things. One of the quandaries that I have is in this movement, one of the most important pieces, I think, is having the ability to provide media so that we can get the word out for others as they do things. So I don't want to just go recreate the wheel, but I want to help the wheel get notoriety, get publicity, get awareness, because there are a lot of great people. I believe there are a lot of great people doing a lot of great things that when you say what's there to do, there are organizations that are doing it already. There are people with dreams and aspirations, people with commitments, people with goals, people with passions that are already working on these things. What they don't have is multimedia presence, or social media presence. They do not have people to create content, to tell their story, the platform in order to bounce those ideas off the world, the general public, or to light a fire under the asses of the political class in order to get change done, in order to force out the people that aren't doing their jobs and to push in, to implant in, to provide and build and bury the roots deeply, deeply in the seeds, plant the seeds of new leaders. All those things must be done. That's what I think the true solution is. And it's a learning time for all of us. It's a learning time for me. So I embrace my brothers and sisters who are already on this trajectory. I'm sorry it took me a while to get here, but Lucy, I'm home. So let's get it going. Take this information, folks. Use it. Don't be upset and pissed off at things I said today. Grow from it, learn from it, and say, you know what? Let me look that up. Let me look into it. Let me become more aware. And then let me get activated with the information. Folks, before I knew, I did not know either. You're not walking around knowing this stuff. How are you going to walk around knowing the numbers and disparities? And it's going to knock you for a loop. I was knocked for a loop first time I'm hearing it. I remember back in, 2015 or 2016 or whatever? Hearing Yvette Carnell say some of these things, not these things specifically, but some things she said about small businesses, very sobering. Like, what the hell am I doing starting a small business? I told Irami this, I told Irami this when I interviewed him. Like, man, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm crazy. I'm a nutcase. Somebody come get me. Realizing how underfinanced I was. Someone told me how underfinanced, that it was suicidal. But don't say, Tim, that's why you made it, because you didn't know the odds. No, dude, you have to be prepared. People lose their lives, their families, their kids, develop drug addictions. I'm very fortunate. Go into depression. You do not want to not know what you are up against and say, oh, that's how you get here. That's crazy talk. No, that's not how you don't go get in the ring with Mike Tyson going, well, I'll figure it out when I'm in there. Either I die or I figure it out. Oh, look at me, I'm dead. Isn't this something? I died. Wow. Okay. No, that's not the solution. People say stupid shit like that, frankly, folks, because they don't know what else to say. They're trying to get some philosophical spin on it. So it's better to know what you're up against to be able to plan. Measure twice, cut once. Because we black, we may not get a chance to cut again. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us for the show tonight. It's been a pleasure of mine giving this information, learning this information, sharing it with you. Folks, don't forget Friday. Friday we have Freedom Friday. That's where you get to call into the show. We have another edition of this show, Pause with Tim Black. Also a special release at 2 p.m. Eastern Time of my interview with Jakari Arthur, Councilman Jakari Arthur. And I'm looking forward to giving you that and getting your feedback on it. Remember, if you value what we do here, If you find it to be interesting, useful, please share it with a friend. Let them know that the blackest podcast in America on politics and culture that's actionable, that's real, that's not kiss ass of NPR or CNN or Fox News or The Blaze or none of that bullshit. We ride hard for our people. We are black agenda oriented and reparations supporters, and we don't back down to nobody. Folks, can I get a B1? And with that, folks, I'll see you on the next one. I want to thank everybody who supports this show. You keep this show going. You are the shit. Thank you. I love you for it. Let's keep it going. Remember, cut the check. Real Tim Black, Facebook and Twitter. Tim Black and that Instagram. Mrs. Black, we did it again.